They sold your birthright to keep their lights on. That is the devastating, unspoken truth about Black legacy civil rights organizations today. When foundational Black Americans demand specific, lineage-based reparations for centuries of stolen wealth, we are not just fighting a hostile government. We are fighting the very organizations that were built in our ancestors' names. Why? Because your specific lineage is bad for their business model. They have traded the radical fight for your economic justice for corporate grants, philanthropic appeasement, and the watered-down umbrella of diversity, equity, and inclusion. How did the very institutions designed to protect FBA become the primary obstacle to our reparations? Let's rewind and look at the exact mechanics of the betrayal. This is not a generational misunderstanding. Do not let them sell you that lie. This is a fundamental clash over money, survival, and institutional control. Black legacy civil rights organizations are massive machines. They have nationwide staffs, physical chapters, and heavy overhead. To survive, they rely on major corporate donations and large philanthropic foundations. But here is the reality of corporate America. They do not want to write a check for direct cash reparations to the descendants of American chattel slavery. That is too specific. It carries too much liability. It terrifies their shareholders. So, the Black legacy groups pivoted. To maintain their funding streams, they broadened the definition of Black to include absolutely everyone. They shifted their focus from the specific economic injuries of Jim Crow and redlining to generalized, broad strokes minority initiatives. They need you to be just another marginalized group in a massive Pan-African coalition so they can secure funding aggregation. They diluted your specific claim to secure their bag. When foundational Black Americans bypass these gatekeepers using digital platforms to demand that our specific lineage be honored, the Black legacy groups deploy their favorite defense. They claim that focusing on FBA lineage causes political fragmentation. They tell FBA we must embrace Black immigrants to build a coalition to fight for voting rights and criminal justice reform. That is an absolute calculated smokescreen. Black immigrants do not come to America to fight the systemic battles of Jim Crow. They come here for economic opportunity, to escape their homelands, and to send remittances back to their countries. They do not arrive with the multi-generational trauma of American slavery, and more importantly, new immigrants do not even have voting rights. The Black legacy establishment is simply using them as a human shield. They lump all people of African descent into one racial box to mask the socioeconomic success of voluntary immigrants, using those numbers to hide the fact that they are failing the people who actually built this country. And let's expose the absolute hypocrisy of this fragmentation argument. Every single other group on the face of the earth is allowed to advocate for their specific lineage without backlash. You do not call an Asian person an African. You do not call a Jamaican a Haitian. Italian Americans, Japanese Americans, Cuban Americans. They frequently lobby for specific, lineage-based recognition, and they are celebrated for preserving their heritage. But the very second foundational Black Americans demand recognition for the unique 400-year nightmare our ancestors endured on this specific soil, suddenly we are called divisive. Suddenly it is a problem. It is a double standard designed entirely to silence you and protect their broad coalition funding. The data does not lie. FBI statistics consistently show that foundational Black Americans remain the most vulnerable population in this country to hate crimes and institutional violence. We carry the specific engineered wealth gap. Applying a universal diaspora-wide fix to a specific uniquely American injury ensures that the actual victims receive absolutely nothing, while newer groups reap the benefits of the civil rights battles our ancestors bled for. But the gatekeepers have lost control. Foundational Black Americans are decentralized. We are crowdfunded. We do not need corporate-approved permission to speak our truth. We are drawing a permanent, unbreakable line around our lineage. And if these Black legacy organizations want to keep selling out the descendants of American slavery to protect their payroll, they will find themselves exactly where they belong, entirely obsolete. I'll land my plane right there. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe for more real talk. Stay rooted, stay awake. I'm Bill Davis, and we'll catch you next time.